Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
Right, okay, we've found Mark. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. I'm back in Ireland.
Yes.
So we're a bit further away now.
Yeah. Are you a bit cooler now, then?
I am. I was just about to say that. It's a massive difference. I woke up this morning and I was cold for the first time in 2 weeks. And I'll tell you what, it makes a massive difference, and I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Yeah. So did you sleep better last night?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did. Now, of course, I'm going to miss the sunshine and relaxing by the pool, but I think I can swap it out.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, you just got to take it bit by bit. Right, yeah, it is very hot right now here in Spain, but there we go. Right, let's start off, Mark. Where are we starting with football?
Yeah, the Club World Cup, and when I said I'm not the only one who was affected by the heat, I wasn't lying, because a lot of reports are coming from the Club World Cup that a lot of players are actually struggling with the temperatures in Miami.
Yeah.
Especially we saw Borussia Dortmund this week, and for the whole first half, their substitutes stayed in the locker room. It was physically too hot for them to stay out. And the Dortmund coach came out and said, listen, these temperatures, they're really affecting our ability to play. And it's not that crazy to think of, because this week has seen some very odd results. Real Madrid struggled against Al Hilal, and Botafogo actually managed to beat the reigning champions PSG of the Champions League. Yeah. And Flamengo absolutely decimated Chelsea in a 3-1 match on Friday. So it's not crazy to think that these temperatures that are hitting, 30, 40 degrees with a 70% humidity are actually affecting these players. So
well, I'm just wondering, I'm going to throw it out there, if this tournament is an absolute waste of time. Because, firstly, you've got players that have been playing all year. You've got clubs that don't really need to be playing anymore and want to prepare for the new season in their own prospective countries. Fans don't seem to be that engaged with it, and it's too hot to play in anyway. And I just wondered if it's just a money-making thing.
It's funny you mention that, because there's someone in Spain who agrees with you. La Liga president Javier Tebas.
Yeah, well, we've been chatting over the weekend. That's why I've persuaded him.
Yeah. You guys obviously met up and talked about this, because he wants the Club World Cup, and these are his words, eliminated. He is very, very hard on this. His stance was, my objective is that there will be no more Club World Cups. I'm very clear about that. He sort of said that he thinks the games are more like friendlies, which we've seen some, 6, 10-0, 5-0 matches. It's not crazy to say that. And he wants the old calendar where it only took a weekend. So this is taking up a significant amount of time. It's not set to be finished.
And it's too hot to play in a lot of the time, because it's the wrong time to be playing football.
It's not set to finish until the 13th of July. Oof. So it's still a long, long way to go. And then you're into August, and then the season sort of starts up around September, November. You're already in the mix of it again.
Well, if you're Premier League, middle of August it starts, doesn't it? So
yeah. So I mean, we looked at. I remember Flamengo are one of the teams that are playing, and they've played so far before the World Cup 77 matches in one season. Yeah. And now they're, if they progress, which from beating Chelsea looks like they will, they're going to have to go play more matches. The finances of it are funny, because for being in the group stage, just the group stage alone, you get 5 million. Yeah. So it's very lucrative. Where this money is coming from, I have no idea. I don't know.
Not from ticket sales, because apparently some of the stadiums are half empty, some of them.
Yeah, probably a good example of that was one of the Chelsea matches. Yeah. I think it was against LAFC. They struggled to sell out. I think they were 20,000 short, and tickets were selling very cheaply before that. But on the other end of things, there has been a little bit of a viewership boom.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a Chelsea viewership boom with their 2-0 win over LAFC. It drew 1.6 million UK viewers, with a lot of them being between 16 to 34. So DAZN were actually kind of boasting this. They're like, this is very, very good. The only downside, though, is that it was a free broadcast.
Yeah.
So that might be why there are so many people watching. But other than that, it has been, fairly decent. There have been some good matches. Atletico Madrid, they sort of started off rough with PSG, but they had a really good match against Seattle Sounders. But there's nothing, and this is my personal opinion, there's nothing that I've watched that I feel I couldn't get from an already existing competition.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I agree with you. I just think... Yeah, I understand viewers, 1.6 million watching it. Yeah, I just don't know. I just think it's a long season, especially when you got World Cups and Euros and all that as well. Other years,
they're right around the corner, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
One interesting thing was we're going to go into a bit of transfer news after this, but Trent Alexander-Arnold has made his debut for Real Madrid in a little bit of an underwhelming match against Al Hilal, where once again a lot of people are questioning his defending, but for 10 million it was a stellar deal.
Yeah.
Liverpool haven't stopped spending. They might have got a cheap transfer fee off Trent, but they've smashed the transfer record with Florian Wirtz for nearly, I think, £116 million, and they're not stopping because Mark Gahey, Crystal Palace's centre back and captain, looks to be on the move now. He's running out of contract next summer, and there's a lot of teams looking at him. Obviously, Newcastle had extensive talks last season, didn't go anywhere. And so Liverpool, Newcastle, Tottenham, Barcelona, Bayern are all reportedly interested. So we may see Liverpool spending again for Mark Gahey, which honestly would be what I think a great move. He's a phenomenal player. He led them to an FA Cup. He'd be a good pickup.
Absolutely, yeah, and not a bad price, I think, really considering. Right, okay. What else is happening on the transfer window side of things? I mean, Derby County have bought a striker. We're not sure whether he's any good or not, but we'll find out. Anything else?
I actually had a bit of news on that.
Yeah, go on then.
you asked about it the last 2 weeks. So Carlton Morris has joined Derby County from Luton Town. I looked at that myself. With not an entirely bad record, he's got some Premier League success and 39 goals in 137 appearances for Luton Town. Not a bad pickup for Derby.
Oh, okay. I'll take it all back then, because some of the fans were moaning, saying he's not really done much last year or so, which is probably right. He might need a new team and a new challenge. So we'll see. Yeah.
And Luton's a very tough town to play for. They had 2 successive relegations. That's not an easy squad to play in.
No, absolutely. Okay. What else is happening then, Mike?
Well, in the NHL, we finally had the Stanley Cup finish up with Florida Panthers clinching back-to-back titles, defeating the Edmonton Oilers 5-1. Really, really good performances. And I'll finish up with another bit of American news with the NFL. I'm mentioning this because, of course, November 16th this year, the NFL is coming to Madrid in the Bernabeu. And the Commanders, I believe, are playing the Dolphins, which, compared to Germany and London, I actually think Spain has got a really good game in its hands. The last few years, Germany had the New England and the Panthers, and honestly, it wasn't a great match of two teams that are in transition, but the Commanders and Dolphins are arguably in their prime, so Spain's getting a really good match here. One of the things coming from the Commanders camp is, of course, the mini camps are sort of wrapping up now, so people are getting their contracts done. Terry McLaurin, who is the standout wide receiver for the Washington Commanders, is currently holding out on his contract. The team want to give him a long-term deal, but he isn't so keen on that. The good news for Spanish fans of the NFL is that they still have Jane Daniels on that team, and he is just coming off a fantastic season as a rookie. And he brought him to the conference championship, which I can't think of a rookie who's done that in a very, very long time. It's very impressive. And then for Taylor Swift and Kansas City fans, Travis Kelce has announced that he's coming back. It was sort of in a bit of a doubt. He came off a very rough season, a very rough performance in the Super Bowl. He's coming back. He's shedding 25 pounds, and he's been at the Kansas City training camp, so he's looking good. And the final piece of news on this would probably be the Pittsburgh Steelers, which are coming to Ireland this year. I'm looking forward to seeing them myself.
Wow.
They've signed a veteran QB, Aaron Rodgers, who's 41 and is getting himself a $14 million deal after a few months of deliberation.
Yeah.
And it was kind of up in the air who they wanted to go for. Were they going to go for Justin Fields or even Matthew Stafford? But Rodgers was their guy. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out.
Yeah, I'm an LA Rams fan myself because of I went with the Rams, and also I did live in Los Angeles for a few months, but I went with the Rams because of my Derby County Rams connection. But anyway, did you see also over the weekend, Carlos Spanish also got a reason to celebrate. Carlos Alcaraz winning the championship in London there. So that's another. He just seems unstoppable at the moment, Alcaraz. And are you ready for Wimbledon, mate? Did you watch it?
Yeah, no, I am. I mean, I was very excited by what I saw at the French Open, and I'm even more excited for what I'm seeing from him now. I think for a bit of a while in tennis, there was this kind of feeling that we're coming to the end of this era. You know, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, and Murray, they're all sort of retiring, and this fierce competition that we were seeing in tennis was sort of coming to a close.
Yeah.
But now we have Sinner. We have so many good tennis players out there that it feels like, hey, one year has ended, but another one is just around the corner.
And Alcaraz is definitely on the throne right now, that's for sure. And Sinner, of course, doing really well, was number one. Right, we're going to have to leave it there, Mark, but thank you very much for your debut sports from Ireland there. Fabulous.
No, it was a pleasure.
No, I'm not. I put you on the spot, so I've not asked you if you could do this, but have you got any idea what's coming up this week? If you haven't, don't worry, we'll do that next time.
But this week, really, it is just more Club World Cup, and hopefully we'll get a bit of transfer news. Yeah. Obviously, right now, the big thing Sky Sports are pushing is Marcus Rashford to Barcelona, but I'm not too sure if Barcelona actually know that Marcus Rashford wants to go there. They seem to tie up the Nico Williams deal, and I think they're very happy. But a bit of transfer news, and then, of course, we have F1, Australian GP coming up, and I'm very excited for that because not only will it see the end of Max Verstappen's penalty points, but we have a very, very important race coming up for Alpine's Colapinto. This is last of his 5-race contract, and if he doesn't manage to score some points, he could be out of a seat.
Right, you heard it here first. Thank you very much, Mark. Have a lovely day, mate.
You too.
Oh, tell us your podcast.
Our podcast?
Yeah. Are you doing a podcast for sports at the moment still?
We actually aren't, but we might have one in the future.
Right, okay. Well, as soon as you do, let me know. All right.
Well,
cheers, buddy. Thank you. Take care.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this program, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels, and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit TRE.radio.